What do we got here? Mike Johnson is shutting down the House because of the Democrats' Epstein file charade. He's making the House go on vacation because of the Democrats. Well, not only the Democrats, but also like some Republicans. I think Thomas Massie has been working with Ro Khanna to basically try to push forward the Epstein file amendment in like everything possible, right? To get the Department of Justice to release more information, because I wonder why a lot of these Republicans are seemingly protecting Trump in terms of what he's in terms of the Epstein files. That's a little interesting, right? That's a little sus. I wonder why Mike Johnson is trying to do everything possible to protect Trump from what's inside the Epstein files. We'll get to that.
As you all have noticed, it's very deliberate. We work very closely hand in hand, the Senate and House Republicans as one united team. That's kind of an innovation in Washington, but a very important one. And we've demonstrated that unity is how we deliver. There's no majority in the history of this body that can wield power unless it stands together. And so I work really hard, we all do, this leadership team does every day, to keep everybody rowing in the same direction. This morning at our weekly conference meeting, we discussed the upcoming schedule, given the Democrats' endless efforts to politicize the Epstein controversy and a whole investigation.
You people are the ones who said you'd release the files. The guy who's currently the president said he'd release them. Then hesitates and said, like, well, there might be a lot of bullshit in there. I don't know what's going on with the Epstein files. That's a little weird. And it's just like, and then he sends his attorney general out, Pam Bondi, out on Fox News to do an interview saying that it's there, it's on my desk, quite literally. Like, huh? Wait, like, what do you mean? Yeah, what files? I don't know what files. The things that you've said you were going to release. And then, Pam Bondi seemingly got some cold feet. I wonder why. We'll get to why soon enough.
I want to be clear about this. There's a reason behind what we are doing here. We have a responsibility.
I'm sure.
Actually, a dual responsibility here, okay? I've been on record very clearly that I believe in maximum transparency. I think every single House Republican...
Except with the Epstein files.
...say the same thing. In fact, they've told me that publicly and privately. They talk about this. We want maximum transparency.
I'm sure.
We also understand the other part of that duty is that we have to protect innocent victims, okay? We have to do both things at the same time. What do we mean?
So that's just a fucking, like, copium excuse? We have to protect the innocent victims. It's like, okay, then you can just censor all that stuff. Like, what do you mean? You can just blot out the names of the victims? Huh? Like, you can do that. Might take a while, because there's a lot of them, but you can do that. You're the fucking federal government. Huh? What? What? You have people that can do that. Like, is it going to be arduous? Is it going to be shitty? Sure. Yeah, whatever. But you can do that. They're really trying to throw everything at the wall possible in order to not release any information on the files, because Trump is absolutely right there, like 1000%. Oh, yeah, exactly, Zane. Like, let me translate. We have to censor Trump's name, and there are a lot of times listed. yeah, it's like, fuck, I'm in this part of the Epstein files, I'm in this part, we gotta censor that, this over here, well, we gotta censor that as well.
But, look, involved in the Epstein evil, okay, which is what it was. Let's call it what it was. Mm-hmm. There are innocent victims of those unspeakable sex crimes, okay? Some of them were minors, some of them were not. When the Epstein records are turned over to the public, which we must do as quickly as possible, we have to...
Oh, I'm sure you must do that as quickly as possible. Yeah. Yet you're having such a huge problem censoring out the victims' names and not putting out any of the, I don't know, child sexual abuse material within it. Like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, seriously? This is the line of excuse. I've seen them making this particular line. It's like, we can't release it because of all the people that are in there. It's just like, dude, you can just like censor them, man. Oh, not besides his making his daughter do purity stuff, Boy Meets Minnie, he also has his son check his fucking history to make sure there's no porn in there. Like, people seemingly have forgotten about that little factoid with fucking Mike Johnson, okay?
also be very judicious and careful about protecting the innocent. I think everybody in the country should understand the necessity of that. It is the standard. I used to be a litigator. It's the standard in the court of law, in the courts. It's the standard in law enforcement. Anyone who served in
I'm pretty sure even in the court of law, if there was like victims that were not a part of a fucking trial and they had to unseal particular documents, they would censor those names if they had no relevance to a fucking trial, right? Like, am I like, listen, I'm not like an expert in law or whatever, but it's like a thing that you can do. Like, you can just censor the names, man. Like, you can just do that. That's not hard, right? Right? Like, what is this?
in law enforcement understands the necessity of that. It is the standard with government agencies. We protect the innocent. So we cannot be careless.
You should protect the innocent.
In an open release like that, you have to be very careful. The president himself has said that he wants maximum transparency and all credible evidence to be turned over to the American public so that everyone can make their own decisions. We're owed that. And we want any individual who's been involved in any way in the Epstein evils to be brought to justice as quickly as possible. And the law should be brought down upon them.
I mean, Epstein's dead because, well, he killed himself, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, I think, currently. Who else? Besides all the people on the list, which might be the president. We'll get to that eventually.
On their head. We're unequivocal about that, okay? We have to make sure that the credible evidence is revealed, and we're doing that. The president has made a request to the courts in the grand jury testimony in the files there, for example, and the court should turn that over, and that will be a continuing and ongoing request. Now, what we refuse to do is participate in another one of the Democrats' political games. This is a serious matter. We are not going to let them...
So, okay, let's dispel the whole notion of the Democrats' political games. A House panel is looking to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah. Democrat political games. A House panel wants to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. Specifically, the Democrats want to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. But what do we got here? Tim Burchett introduced the motion to compel Maxwell's testimony, said he did not consult the President Trump beforehand. Trump has been trying to put the issue to bed amid bipartisan efforts to force the Justice Department to release its documents on Epstein. Again, like I said before, Trump, buddy, like... I know you're trying to, throw everything at the wall possible to try to distract from the fact that your dumbass is definitely in the fucking Epstein files, right? 1,000% you're in the fucking Epstein files. That's not hyperbole or, ridiculous to say at all. His ass is in there, and he knows it, okay? More than likely. Quite literally, it's just, he really is trying to do everything possible, and... It's a bipartisan effort. Everyone wants to release that stuff. Every fucking Democrat wants to do that. And it just takes a couple of Republicans to flip over and to just be like, yeah, we would like to also know for maximum amounts of transparency because that's what you promised your constituents. Maybe you shouldn't have made it a fucking campaign promise, Trump, reaping and sowing and whatnot. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. It's just some food for thought. Let's be honest here. The Justice Department announced Tuesday morning, hours before Burchett's motion, that it would seek to interview Maxwell. Really? The DOJ is going to interview Ghislaine Maxwell. There's no fucking shot that they're going to ask any, the pertinent questions to the fucking Epstein files. Or they're just going to, sit on it and say, yeah, we'll get to it. We'll do it eventually, smile. But we have, all this other stuff to do. It's just yeah. Sure, you're going to get to it. Yeah, this is pure fucking PR. 1,000 fucking percent. They're not going to do it. There's no fucking way. Which is why I think it should be the House that subpoenas them. Not the DOJ doing the interview. Because the only reason why they're saying this is because Trump's catching a lot of heat for the fact that he seems to be rather hesitant in terms of releasing details in the Epstein files. Wonder why. What we're hearing, Oversight Committee Chair James Comer directed Burchett to introduce the motion and will seek to subpoena Maxwell as expeditiously as possible, a committee spokesperson told Axios. I'm really surprised that fucking James Comer, this fucking dumbass, is actually trying to do to get this ball rolling as much as possible. That's so fucking goofy. Yeah, I thought he was a big fan of Donald Trump or something. I guess he doesn't. I thought Tim Burchett was also a fucking goddamn huge Donald Trump fan after talking with him and getting like a little bit of signed merch in order to vote for like the big beautiful bill. What happened? Huh. That's a little interesting. So Comer told Axios he also did not speak with the White House or House Speaker Mike Johnson about the matter. Burchett sent Comer a letter last week urging him to bring Maxwell in to testify. So, yep, she's sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2022 after a federal jury found her guilty of helping Epstein sexually traffic teenage girls. I know the Trump administration also said that they want to unseal some documents from a grand jury about the Epstein files. Again, pure distraction. It doesn't fucking matter. Any of that shit. He's just doing all of this shit purely just to cover his own ass, because more than likely his dumbass is in there and he probably knows it. And we'll get to that soon enough. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Maxwell denied abusing anyone and said she had been made a scapegoat after Epstein died in prison in 2019, a charge prosecutors have denied. Maxwell has petitioned the Supreme Court to review her case, arguing that it violated a non-prosecution agreement between Epstein and federal prosecutors in Florida. What they're saying, well, she's the last one standing. There's nobody else alive that can tell us anything. I'd like to get her there before she's allowed to commit suicide as well. Unironic, I'd like actually, let's be honest here. Tim Burchett's not raised. He's typically he's a bit of a dumbass, but that's actually a pretty good point here by Tim Burchett. I'm just tired of it, Burchett told reporters. He said he believes Maxwell could tell us the operation, how it went down, who are the supporters of it. Ultimately, I'd like to see justice. I've not spoken to Trump about it at all. Burchett added, he has my number, I have his. Between the lines, our committee is very interested in getting to the bottom of the whole Epstein saga, Comer told reporters, hinting at the growing unrest on the issue from lawmakers in both parties. Yeah, it's a bipartisan issue, but again, the only person who doesn't want any of that to come out is because of the, well, fact that he's more than likely in there is Trump. His dumbass knows that he's implicated in it. I know that President Trump has said he's going to release all the information they have, the Kentucky Republican said, but we have members that want to go a little bit further, be a little more aggressive. Totally fine by me. Comer added, I have not communicated with the White House. This is the House Oversight Committee wanted, and the Republicans in the committee overwhelmingly support doing this. The House Judiciary Committee ranking member Jamie Raskin said in a statement that the subpoena is an evasive ploy to obscure the fact that they are not doing the one thing they promised to do, which is release the Epstein file. That's a pretty decent point, to be quite honest, you know? Is it possible that they're just doing the subpoena as, like, more red meat to fucking goddamn distract the base? Wouldn't really surprise me, to be honest, right? Are they going to ask her a bunch of softball questions? Maybe, but if they were to have a subpoena of Ghislaine Maxwell and they ask her a bunch of fucking softball questions, do you know how bad that would make them look to the base? It's entirely possible that this could be an evasive ploy. I'm not willing to sort of rule that out. I don't think that's a ridiculous assertion here being made by Jamie Raskin, but come on. They may do some fucking stupid bullshit, ask some softball questions, and try to make it such that the Democrats that are on the House Oversight Committee aren't able to fucking ask any questions of Ghislaine Maxwell, because they may actually ask some real questions to probe into what's in the Epstein files. Maybe learn about what Epstein did from Ghislaine Maxwell, who is a close confidant to Jeffrey Epstein. They may be quite afraid of that. So they could just be doing this to jingle some fucking keys to the base. Of course, members will welcome the opportunity to question Miss Maxwell, he told Axios. But given that Miss Maxwell's hopes for freedom depend on clemency and a pardon from President Trump, her testimony about Trump, there's no fucking way, by the way, Trump is ever fucking pardoning her. That's not fucking happening. That would be way too fucking suspicious. Everyone would see that and be like, okay, he's 1000% in the fucking Epstein files. Everyone would immediately fucking come to that conclusion. So there's no shot she's getting a fucking pardon from Trump. His relationship with Epstein and the extent of Trump's role in any conspiracy simply has no relatability. Burchett and Comer both acknowledged to reporters that Maxwell's current imprisonment will make it more difficult to get her to sit for a deposition. Now, you can do it. We gotta do it. It shouldn't be that hard, you know? Just have her escorted with some fucking cops or bailiffs or whatever, and have her come in and do the deposition. But what's so hard about it? You people are people in power. You can do it. Just do it. Don't. You guys gonna pussy out now? She's in jail, which makes it complicated. It's going to require a lot of communication back and forth between attorneys, but the bottom line is we're going to be aggressive and try to talk to her as soon as possible. Sure, yeah. Comer will coordinate with the Federal Bureau of Prisons in his efforts to interview Maxwell, the committee spokesperson said. So, that's pretty cool and fantastic. So, hey, Mike Johnson, why are you trying to adjourn the House as soon as possible? Is it because of this? This subpoena on Ghislaine Maxwell? Because you adjourning the House, shutting down the House before, you know, that particular subpoena would certainly have a hand to play in that, now wouldn't it?
Use this as a political battering ram. The Rules Committee became the ground for them to do that. We're not going to allow them to engage in that charade anymore. Why do I call it a charade?
Sure.
Because the Democrats are trying to play gotcha politics right now when, as the leader just pointed out, they don't have any moral high ground on this at all. They controlled the Department of Justice for the last 4 years. Has anyone forgotten?
They didn't make it a campaign promise to release the Epstein files. They didn't talk about the fucking Epstein files at all. Because more than likely, they know that people within their party are also implicated in there. This is a red herring. This is a moving of the goalpost. This does not matter. You are the ones who made it a campaign promise to release the Epstein files, and now you're getting cold feet. A little sus.
Had all these files the entire time. They sat on everything Epstein related for 4 long years while President Biden was in office. You could draw your own conclusions as to why. But we've been intellectually consistent the entire time. And I want to say...
Why? Because fucking Joe Biden is in the fucking Epstein files or something? Or like whatever like schizo nonsense your brain leaker in chief is trying to say about like Obama committing treason or something? Like what the fuck are you talking about? Silly.
Say this about my colleagues Ro Khanna and Jim McGovern and Hakeem Jeffries and so many others. They've tweeted about Epstein countless times in the last 2 weeks, but go back and look at their social media accounts we have and their public comments. They had exactly 0 posts on the subject for the last 4 years of Biden.
You guys are the ones who initially brought up all the Epstein stuff. Donald Trump was the guy who said, like, Epstein, who's Epstein? Why are we still talking about that guy? Like, what's going on here? And Pam Bondi also said, like, yeah, there is no Epstein client list. So that's why it's now in the news cycle. More and more so. You guys should keep talking about the fucking Epstein files as much as possible. Keep it in the news cycle. Keep talking about it over and over and over again. Just keep talking about it over and over and over again. Just keep talking. Just be like Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. It's like, why are you guys releasing the Epstein files? What's going on? Why aren't you releasing that stuff? You gotta release that stuff. What's going on? Gotta release it. Like, again, he doesn't want to release any of that stuff. Yeah, they are really trying as hard as possible to distract everyone, but it's not gonna fucking work. Again, like, people, broadly speaking, understand and can see it like, oh, yeah, there's some fucking bullshit that's going on here. And it's true. There is bullshit that's going on here.
Administration. Interesting, isn't it? We all understand that the American First agenda and the American people are best served by putting an end to the Democrat sideshows. And that's what we're doing by not allowing the Rules to continue with that nonsense this week.
I'm so fucking certain that that's the reasoning. Complete copium as always there by Mike Johnson. But there's some reporter follow-up. So what do we have here? You have to pull the rule because of fear of Epstein votes. No, we don't have any fear. There's no fear here. No fear, huh? If there's no fear, then release the files. Why aren't you just releasing them? Oh, because of whatever, like, gobbledygook nonsense that you're gonna fucking bring up? Like, yeah, sure. Yeah, there's no fear in bossing say. I will not allow the House to be dragged into political gamesmanship. Buddy, you're a part of the fucking Republican Party. Political gamesmanship is, like, literally your whole modus operandi. To do everything possible to make the government as ineffective as possible. Like, what are you talking about? Political gamesmanship. Okay, dude.
Obviously, we've seen conservatives shut down the House floor routinely. You saw that you had to pull the rule because of fear of Epstein votes.
No, we don't have any fear. No, hold on. No, Reese, no. There's no fear here. No, there's no fear. There's no fear. We're not going to allow the
I think he might be
Democrats to
afraid.
use this as a political cudgel. Remember, they had 4 years. Hold on.
Same excuse as before. The Democrats didn't make it a campaign promise to release the Epstein files. Trump did. Yeah. Ozai is definitely not on the list. We swear, guys. Totally.
Biden administration held the Epstein files for 4 years. Not a single one of these Democrats or anyone in Congress made any peep about that at all. They could have brought a discharge petition at any point in the last 4 years. They chose not to. They waited until President Trump was elected. I think that's very suspect.
You guys are the ones who brought it up initially, bro. Like, come on, man. Pam Bondi said that there is no Epstein client list, and that's why you currently have the fucking shitstorm that you guys are currently dealing with. It's so silly.
I will not allow the House to be drug into political gamesmanship. Not gonna do it.
So, copium so far. There were promises Republicans made on Epstein. Why no sense of urgency? Why not hold the vote today? Pretty good question there by that reporter. No point in passing a resolution to urge the administration to do something that they're already doing. Oh, like a bunch of bread and circuses to fucking distract people from the fact that Epstein or that Trump was definitely in the fucking Epstein files. We're gonna get to the fucking bombshell report soon enough by the Wall Street Journal. Because again, there was the fucking first one with the stupid dumbass love letter, the old man Yowie letter that fucking Trump sent to Epstein, and also a little something else. There were some photos that were released by CNN that had Trump and Epstein together in 2 instances. 1991 during the wedding with his second wife, and also during a Victoria's Secret event where he was palling around with Jeffrey Epstein.
Not allow the House to be drug into political gamesmanship. Not gonna do it.
Promises that Republicans made to voters over Jeffrey Epstein. Why not more of a sense of urgency? Why not just hold a vote today?
There's no point in having a vote today because the administration is already doing everything within their power to release them. They've gone to the grand jury. They've requested the courts to...
Keep in mind, like I said before, that grand jury stuff is complete poppycock. It's hogwash. It's just a distraction. There's no there. The only reason why they're going to that grand jury to get information released is because more than likely there's nothing that's overly incriminating in there.
Unseal the documents so that they can be released. The president himself has said all credible evidence should be put out to the American people while protecting the innocent. That's where we stand as well. There's no point in passing a resolution to urge...
Like, I mean, you can literally just go through and fucking censor people's names. You can do that. Easy.
The administration to do something that they are already doing, and so that's why we're
they're totally doing it.
This is not out of fear in any way. What we're trying to do is maximize transparency and stand for the truth. We want... Wait, let me say this, very important. We want every single person who is involved in any way in the Epstein evils to be brought to swift justice. We want the full weight of the law to fall upon their head, and I will do everything within my power to make sure that is possible. That
sure, man.
Process is underway right now.
Yeah, it definitely is underway. And yeah, like you're saying, Zane, why does it matter who's releasing it? Why is it suspect if you have the list and you know everything on it? Well, we know why, right? They don't want to fucking release it because, again, another bombshell report by the Wall Street Journal. They're the ones who dropped the fact that Epstein got his little love letter for his 50th birthday from fucking Donald Trump. And now we have this. Justice Department told Trump in May that his name is among many in the Epstein files. Uh-oh, stinky. Ooh, hey, I thought there was no Epstein client list. Trump was in the Epstein file. Uh-oh. Caught. They got caught. It's fucking Jover for these mans. They knew since May. They just don't want to release the information. I wonder why they are doing everything possible to release the information. It's because his dumbass name is definitely in the fucking Epstein files. He's in there. That's why. Bondi also told the president at the meeting that Justice decided not release more Jeffrey Epstein documents because of the presence of child pornography and the need to protect victims. Like I said before, this is an excuse. You can just censor all of it. Just put the fucking black bars over everything. Man, does it suck to have to go through all that material? Yeah, but hey, guess what? You made the promise, so you gotta do it. How do you think, like, censors for, like, social media companies fucking feel like? They have to go through, God knows how much child sexual abuse material on the fucking daily. Well, at least that's what people at Twitter used to do. Probably not so much anymore, thanks to Elon Musk's stupidity. But what do we have here? When Justice Department officials reviewed what Attorney General Pam Bondi called a truckload of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein earlier this year, they discovered that Donald Trump's name appeared multiple times, according to senior administration officials. Ooh. Yikes. According to fucking senior officials. Yikes, dude. Yikes. In May, Bondi and her deputy informed the president at a meeting in the White House that his name was in the Epstein files, the officials said. Many other high-profile figures were also named, Trump was told. Being mentioned in the records isn't a sign of wrongdoing. Yet they don't really want to release it. That's a little weird. The officials said it was a routine briefing that covered a number of topics, and that Trump's appearance in the documents wasn't the focus. They told the president at the meeting that the files contained what officials felt was unverified hearsay about many people, including Trump. Oh, I'm sure. Who had socialized with Epstein in the past, some officials said. One of the officials familiar with the documents said they contained hundreds of other names. For sure. Release them all. Fuck it. Who cares? Bring them all to justice. Be great. Very, very good piece of work if you were to actually do that. They also told Trump that senior Justice Department officials didn't plan to release any more documents related to the investigation of the convicted sex offender because the material contained child pornography and victims' personal information, the officials said. You can censor it. Trump said at the meeting he would defer to the Justice Department's decision to not release any further files. Oh, I wonder why he's deferring to the Justice Department's decision to not release any further files. Wouldn't want any further implications? Hey, Trump, again, reaping and fucking sowing. If you really didn't want that information to come out, maybe you shouldn't have made a promise to allow that stuff to fucking come out. Just saying. The meeting set the stage for the high-profile review to come to an end. Bondi had said in February that Epstein's client list was sitting on my desk right now to review. Trump said last week in response to a journalist's questions that Bondi hadn't told him that his name was in the files. Oh, I'm sure. The administration didn't publicly announce the decision weeks later on July 7th, when the Justice Department posted a memo on its website. The statement, which was unsigned, stated that a thorough review had turned up no list of Epstein's clients. Really? No list of Epstein clients. Sure, man. Even though you said you had all the files and information in front of you for months. Sure, man. I got a question. Why is Trump being briefed on the files? Shouldn't this stuff be dealt with by the Justice Department? That's like, not his job. Well, see, the reason is because if he doesn't get fucking briefed on this stuff, since more than likely he's implicated in that, he probably needs to be told, like, that he's more than likely implicated in it, because it would make him and his administration look really bad. Again, the Justice Department is also self-interested. Trump selected those guys for the job specifically. And if he wants to get rid of them, he can fucking get rid of them, right? That's the main reasoning. It's all about, maintaining your fucking position within the fucking hierarchy. That's the point. The real problem is the fact that this was made a campaign promise to begin with. That's where Trump fucked up specifically. He was just like, yeah, I'm going to release the files. And then he's getting cold feet about it. That's where he fucked up really, really badly. It said that much of the material would have been sealed in a trial to protect victims and to block the dissemination of the child pornography. And then, I forgot to read this bit right here. No evidence that would lead to an investigation of uncharged third parties and no additional documents that merited public disclosure. Sure. Typically, the FBI doesn't disclose materials that aren't related to a charged offense. This is another fake news story, like the previous story by the Wall Street Journal, said White House Communications Director Stephen Chung. Oh boy, it's Big Chungus. Big Chungus says that it's fake news, so therefore it must be fake news. That's how it works. In a statement to the Journal on Friday, Pam Bondi, the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, said, I did not want to open that. In a statement to the Journal on Friday, Bondi and the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, said nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution. I'm sure. As part of our routine briefing, we made the President aware of the findings, they said. On Tuesday, Blanche said on S that the Justice Department was seeking to arrange a meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell in the coming days to discuss any possible information about anyone who has committed crimes with Epstein. She was found guilty, sent to 20 years in prison. Cool. They're grateful to President Trump for uncovering the truth, blah, blah, blah. That's about Ghislaine Maxwell. We don't really care about that shit. Both Epstein and Trump said years ago that they had a falling out. Trump has said their friendship ended before the financier was indicted for soliciting prostitution in 2006. Epstein later pleaded guilty to procuring a minor for prostitution in 2008, served time in a Florida jail, and registered as a sex offender. Then he was arrested again in 2019. Sure, Trump hasn't talked to Epstein for about 15 years. Then he died in jail while Trump was in office. Probably by suicide. If you know, you know. Metadata suggesting that the clip was edited in fucking Adobe Premiere, probably of all things. FBI Director Kash Patel has privately told other government officials that Trump's name appeared in the files, according to people close to the administration. Ooh. Even Kash Patel said, like, oh, he's in there. He's in there. That's so funny. And yeah, he declined to answer an inquiry, of course. But in a statement that the memo on the Justice Department website explaining why the department won't release more Epstein documents was consistent with the thorough review conducted by the FBI and the DOJ. Totally. That's a pretty good point, Boy Meets Manise. Like, again, he didn't want to get involved in any of that stuff between Elon Musk and Trump, and now he wants to be very, very involved with it at all times after seeing Trump's name show up in there. It's a little sus, isn't it? Details of Bondi's meeting with Trump hadn't been previously reported. Trump's advisors had for months, including during the presidential campaign, said they would release the files, and Trump, while at times equivocal, indicated he would support the release. Sure. Trump supporters, including some now serving in senior roles in the administration, claimed that the documents would expose global elites and powerful Democrats who spent time with the disgraced financier. Here's the funny part about that. Most of the people who probably spent more time with fucking Jeffrey Epstein are conservatives. Let's be fucking honest here. Most of the people in there are guaranteed to be fucking conservatives. Because again, conservatives are totally okay with doing abuse of fucking minors. Okay? They have no fucking problem with that whatsoever. Decision to not release the files triggered serious backlash. Lost a bid of his bid for the White House a decade ago. Focal group of President's allies seeing the move as massive betrayal. Of course, we talked about Mike Johnson cutting the legislative session short because, again, too much pressure from the fucking Epstein files. He doesn't want to release them. He wants to protect Trump. But what do we have here? Grand jury testimony? Is this about the grand jury testimony? Right? Is there anything from here? Spokesman Dow Jones said we have full confidence in rigor and accuracy of our reporting. Oh, this is when he is trying to. This is about when he's trying to sue the Wall Street Journal for the release of that article around the stupid love letter that he sent to fucking Jeffrey Epstein, the old man Yowie letter that they sent to each other. Very, very cool. Grand jury testimony only makes up a portion of more than 300 gigabytes of Epstein-related material the FBI compiled as a part of the recent review. FBI confiscated digital and documentary evidence from Epstein's properties in the U.S. Virgin Islands and New York in 2019. Okay. Trump said he had directed Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval, which doesn't really matter because, again, they're only doing that to, again, distract from the fact that his dumbass is definitely in there, and they know that they're in there. Pam Bondi said, like, you're in there. Kash Patel has also said he's in there. All of them are saying he's in there. So, you know, he doesn't want to release the Epstein files because he's in there. He's in there. He's in the Epstein files. This pretty much more or less confirms it, and they've known for fucking months at this point. So everything that's going on right now is a pure fucking distraction. Very, very cool. So on July 15th, ABC interview. So specifically what we want. Quick briefing. Trump responded. He also said Bondi has done a really great job on the Epstein review. We also know all about what Bondi and Bongino clashing. They do not like this, right? Yeah, calling her a liar. They've been getting mad about this, blah, blah, blah. Because again, Dan Bongino came up through the sort of, I don't know, conservative tearing rungs, I guess, for lack of a better term, by pushing just stupid Epstein conspiracism and stuff like that, and pushing conspiracism on his podcast. So that's cool. Funniest thing about this is I think JD Vance was sent to try to bully like Rupert Murdoch into not releasing this. So JD Vance, Rupert Murdoch. JD Vance visited the Murdochs right before the Washington or the Wall Street Journal dropped Trump's letter to Epstein. What, you think this fucking doughboy fucking dumbass? Like, seriously, do you really fucking think that this fucking idiot, this little doughboy fucking idiot, you think this guy's intimidating as fuck? Really? This same exact fucking doofus is gonna be intimidating Rupert Murdoch, who doesn't really like Trump all that much because he's just a fucking corporatist and all he cares about is making money. And guess what? Trump's not very good for fucking business, so, you can take down Trump. Fuck it. That means business is going to be good again, right? At least that's the logic that Rupert Murdoch is more than likely operating off of. Yeah, totally. It's like, hey JD, how about you try to intimidate Rupert Murdoch? It's like, yeah, this fucking loser's going to intimidate him. Totally. I think it should pretty much go without saying. He was in the Epstein files. He's in the Epstein files. He knows he's in the Epstein files. His administration knows he's in the Epstein files. All the fucking state security apparatus people knows he's in the Epstein files. The Republican Party, broadly speaking, knows he's in the Epstein files. So they're going to do everything possible to make it such that no one can pursue any more information on the fucking Epstein files. Who wants to make a bet that during the 6 weeks the House is on vacation, that Ghislaine Maxwell, ends up committing suicide, quote unquote? Would be pretty interesting and certainly not make things way more fucking suspicious and hot on fucking Donald Trump's tail besides all this. Again, the reason why this shit's fucking happening is because these complete dumbasses decided to make it a fucking campaign promise on the fucking trail saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna release the Epstein files. Oh well, I don't really know if there's much like that's really much that's in there that's really good. There's kind of like stuff in there. It's kind of like sussy and weird. I don't know. I don't really know. And it's just like, oh, he's definitely in there. Also, Pam Bondi saying, I have the files on my desk. We're going to release them. We're going to take a look, see what's good to release, blah, 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 blah. And then coming out and saying that there was no list. And it's just like, really? You said you had it on your desk 3 months ago before you fucking said that. And it took you that long to fucking release it and look at it and just say, there's no list? Nah, you're full of shit. Full of it. You're fucking full of it. And again, like I said before, reaping and sowing. So it's good to see that the Republican Party and Trump, broadly speaking, are sort of suffering a lot of political repercussions from promising something that they were never fucking ever going to keep to. Ever, 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 ever. Let's be quite honest here. Because Trump knows all he ever has cared about is using his base in order to get to power, and now that they are not as useful, he doesn't really have to give a shit about any of them and keeping any of his promises to them. So, As expected, as always, from this whole stupid fucking dumbass fiasco with the Jeffrey Epstein files, it only gets better and better and better, and the Republicans are bending over backwards to literally come up with anything possible in order to make it such that they don't have to release these files to the public. Honestly, I'm just happy to see them squirm, to be quite honest.